very interesting, like, strategic position because there's this rook on b6, which is usually not there. And okay, you have to. The only way to continue, I believe, like the best way to continue, is to put the queen on d2. And the issue was my whole idea of bishop c1 was that I wanted to put my bishop on a3, and somewhere I wanted to go knight d2 so I can get e4 c4.
Right.
Now the thing is, if you put the queen on d2, and it's a very okay, like I have a feeling it should be around equal because okay, somewhere if black tries for rook e at e5.
Okay, I think we can look at the board. Yeah, maybe you could
sure.
like walk through us the thought process. So knight f3. What?
The engine.
Oh, that is a very nice point.
I mean, okay, I have a feeling in today's game there won't be much, but okay.
I don't think it's really going to give you a lot of spoilers anyway.
Probably, but anyways, this will just be nice to analyze without some bar just moving up and down. Just
All right. The Catalan. So what about the Catalan? Was this like prep for this particular game, or it's a larger idea?
It's one of my usual openings. It's okay. I decided to employ it today. I've been playing a lot of e4 recently, so I thought this might be good. So okay, he chose bishop e7. He hasn't played a lot of bishop e7 in the past. I didn't expect it.
So what does he normally play?
Like bishop b4 and all these bishop b4, bishop d2, like all this a5 or bishop e7 here. I mean, okay, against the Catalan there are like 30 different lines, but none of them are entirely equal. It's like white has some minor pressure here and there, so I had some ideas prepared, and okay.
All right. So bishop g2, castle. This is still obviously big theory.
Yeah.
f4, bishop d7, queen c4, bishop c6.
Bishop g5. He played a5. Yeah, okay, the a5 is one move. Knight bd7 is another one. This is all pretty much theory.
Right. All right.
a5, knight c3, rook a6.
Okay. What is rook a6? Obviously,
it's been played before by Michael Adams.
This is not weak so opening, is it not?
Yeah, I mean it's quite
the same maneuver, right? Yeah, there was this very funny opening played by one of the online players recently. a5, rook a6, a4, rook a3. We're having fun about it, but I don't really recognize it. This must have been a tested continuation before.
Yeah, it's been played before, but okay, it's I think probably some older games. Like nowadays, people they tend to prefer something different. But I mean, as in the Catalan, some of these positions, okay, engine gives triple zeros everywhere, but it's slightly more difficult to play with black.
All right.
It's known to be like a risk-free opening for white, where you can put pressure over long periods of time. So I thought. Okay.
Did it surprise you?
No, I knew this. I was just trying to remember what I had.
All right.
So okay, queen d3, queen c2, h6, bishop d2. Bishop f3, bishop b4, rook f1. Okay, if I can get e4, then his pieces become a bit cramped. So bishop f3 is bishop c3, bc3, bishop e4.
Right.
And yeah, okay, now, yeah, you have to decide where to put the queen. I think a2 is objectively the best square, but he will not let you keep it there for a very long time.
Right. So we were wondering, like, is something like c5 a possibility? Try to get some, I don't know, Grunfeld, semi-Taras-like position, apply some pressure, but apparently he was pretty happy with knight c6.
Yeah, I expected knight c6, and now what I think what black is playing for is somewhere he wants to play e5. Either if he gets, like, if my queen is not on a2, if he can play queen d5, or he gets e5, I think he should be fine in the long run.
Right.
If I'm not able to meet it correctly, like, I think here the bishop on d2 is kind of misplaced on d2. Like, if I play some move like rook a d1, this is probably the most natural move, but first of all, bishop d5 is an issue.
So you can't play c4 because there's probably
bishop f3, knight d4.
Yeah, like c4 takes.
Well, okay, it should be, maybe you can play bishop g2 here or something, but
yeah.
I mean, rook d6. But rook d6, yeah, bishop b7, c6, you get this. Yeah, I mean, this is also maybe possible, but
yeah, it looks a bit risky.
But okay, even like rook a d1, if he goes rook f e8, he doesn't really commit, and then okay, the issue is I don't really have a plan here.
Right. All right, so you play bishop c1, you decide to improve your bishop.
Yeah, because
bishop d5. Okay, what happened here?
Yeah, here there's basically two candidate moves, queen c2 and queen d2. Now the thing is, okay, queen d2, if black goes like queen d2, because I think if you don't want to repeat, probably you should keep the bishop on d5, not e4, because with the bishop on e4, you give black all these options of going queen d5.
Ah, here, right.
Like if I go, let's say, bishop d5, queen c2, bishop e4, and if I choose to play here, like queen d2 or queen d1, he goes queen d5. And now this pressure becomes very annoying, and you can go rook d8, e5. And I'm not sure why I'm better here, so.
Right. Right, so if you want to continue, then it should be...
I should go queen a2, bishop d5, and queen d2.
So what was the reason why you decided not to?
Let's say like black goes to move like rook e8.
All right.
Yeah, we were analyzing this for a while, and I still think, okay, white doesn't really have much objective advantage. Like, let's say queen c8. So he's just preparing for e5.
Uh-huh.
But actually, now the thing is, okay, if queen c2, he goes back bishop e4. And, okay, you have...
Some queen c1 maybe.
But, okay, e5.
E5, yeah.
Now, if e3, he has queen f5. Well, you have knight h4, but... Yeah.
Something like this, yeah.
Yeah, something like this.
All right. Actually, yeah, we're following this live full screen. We're trying to understand whether there's some mind games, like you were trying to repeat the position a couple of times, trick the opponent into the thought process that draw might actually happen and then decline at the final moment. When was the moment when you decided, okay, draw is good?
Yeah, I was calculating some lines, and when I felt like objectively white doesn't have much, I was okay with the draw. There were some very interesting lines instead of bishop d5, where black can start with knight d5. Now, knight d5, I was planning to play bishop a3. Now, okay, if you go rook e8, I go rook ac1. This, I think, is a bit better for white, because I want knight d2 next. And now, every time you go e5, I can meet with e3 comfortably.
Right. All right.
So, okay, instead of rook e8, like knight takes bishop a3, knight takes e3.
Yeah, it's just so. Okay, yeah, knight d5, bishop a3.
Now knight c3. Now, okay, you have to go queen c4, because if you go queen d2, he has knight b1.
Wow.
And knight takes a3.
That's a very unusual move. Yeah, that's a fork on d2, and actually black just collects the bishop on a3. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so let's say
c4.
queen c4. Now, okay, in this position, I think black was going bishop takes f3. Now, if you go bishop takes f3, queen takes d4, queen takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes f8, king takes f8, I think this should be overall at least fine for black.
All right.
Because, okay, his knights are really active, he has 2 pawns. And I think even I have some risk here, but after bishop takes f3, I think the best continuation is queen takes e3. Now, bishop takes g2, bishop takes f8.
Oh, f8, yeah?
Yeah, no, okay, you have to win the exchange, otherwise
Right.
you're just down a pawn. Bishop d5, bishop c5, rook b3, queen c2, b6. Sorry, not queen c2, because now b6 d4 hangs. So queen d2 I think is stronger. Like b6, bishop a3, and you get this like really absurd position. Now you're threatening e4, so queen f6 I think is quite logical.
Yeah. What about f5? No?
Yeah, f5 I considered, but one thing is if I play bishop b2, bishop c3, I can kind of lock in this rook. So queen f6, let's say bishop b2. Now the thing is, if white ever goes f3, you have rook takes f3.
Ooh.
It's like, okay, let's say queen f5 here just to demonstrate this.
So which move do you want me to make?
Like, let's say queen f5. Like queen f5 for black, just to
yeah,
stop.
I just need to make a move, I suppose. Okay, let's say rook c1. Oh, wait, black's the move.
It's black to move, yeah. So let's say queen f5. Now here, if you go f3, there's rook takes f3, and okay, maybe this is not just enough for a draw, but
Did you calculate this during the game, or this was in post-mortem analysis?
yeah, no, I saw some ideas like this, but the thing is, white is not necessarily forced to play f3. Like you can go bishop b2, bishop c3.
Right. So here, bishop b2.
Like
queen
bishop
f5.
b2, queen f5, just bishop c3.
Yeah.
Okay, you lock this rook in, and then you go f3, and okay, objectively, I don't think black has enough. But of course, I think you need to see the majority of these lines just to make sure that white doesn't have any issues.
All right. So are you satisfied with the result, or still there's the feeling that you should have fought on or chosen a different continuation, or draw's good?
Yeah, I think here, okay, draw was fine. He's such a strong player, and yeah, I think in terms of like the standings, draw is also should be fine.
Can we use your advice right now, because you are still leading the tournament, only the commentator here? We could maybe have a glimpse at what's going on in other games.
Sure.
About tournaments. You could just give your quick assessment. What do you think is happening there?
Sure.
I promise there's no engine evaluation.
Sounds good.
All right. Oh, wait, I think there's a bar. Oh,
but it's okay. I mean, okay, I'll just
bar's
look.
good, yeah? All right. So let's start with the top middle board. Alexander Donchenko versus Alex Salem. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a very unusual position. Like I remember, I saw the opening, and Donchenko played this quite a quiet line. This e3, b3, bishop b2, knight d2, c4. Yeah, this looks very sharp, and maybe this might be easier. Like I've seen Salim's style, and like if you look at one of his games from Sharjah Masters against Fedoseev, he had this game where he sacked a queen, and I think he sacked both of his rooks.
So against the same pawn structure.
Not the same pawn structure. It was a different game against Ferosev. He sacked a piece in the opening first, then he sacked two. He sacked a queen. He sacked both rooks, and he finally beat Ferosev in this ridiculously complicated game. So I think this kind of position where he gets to attack is his style. And okay, like g5, f4, I think is one of the main plans for black.
So you would favor his chances a bit better.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So on the top right corner,
Because also
we have Prague against. Yeah. Sorry, you still want to say
sorry.
something
So
about that
like
game?
in that game, because I don't think you have too much time to go rook a4, rook takes a5. Like maybe even if you take the pawn, this a pawn is not going to promote anytime soon. Like I think objectively the game should be equal, but maybe black has slightly more, like slightly to be favored.
Because of the direct attack chances.
Yes.
All right. That's an interesting point. I also agree. Yeah, I also would choose with black. Then we had the game of Prague against Martirosyan, top right corner. Do you think there's any realistic chance that this game is going to end with anything else but a draw?
No, not really. Okay, I mean, if anyone is to be preferred, maybe black slightly, but it's not really much. Like, okay, white can just keep shuffling with the bishop. You can never get e4, g4 just leads to a bunch of trades.
All right.
And
let's move on. Then the lower right corner where Ihor Semenenkov plays against Vaishali. Who is even playing for the win? Is it still Semenenkov who has the extra pawn? He kind of implies that he wants to trade the queens. Or maybe Vaishali can be ambitious here because of her piece activity.
Yeah, this looks pretty... This should be balanced, I believe. Okay, black's pieces are quite active, and even though white is up by a pawn, he won't be able to use this effectively. This should just be, like, I think balanced. Both players should be fine with the repetition soon.
All right. Then Vincent Keimer against Sam Shankland. Your preference?
Okay, so he sacked a pawn. Okay, black is up by a pawn, but I think, yeah, this should be equal because the issue is your bishop on g7 is not a very strong piece. It's kind of locked in, and okay, white has a lot of light square control, and okay, this should just... Black should not lose this either, okay.
Yeah, and also, just to give you update, dear viewers, Prague versus Ike Martirosyan has finished in a draw. No surprise really there, so Prague decided not to push on. We have one more game to look at, which is Jonas Bull Bjerre against Mark Andrea Maurizzi. Did you see what happened there? Because I had a feeling that Bjerre was miscalculating some things, and now he's in a weird position where the black knight on g5 is under attack. Is it even possible just to assess this position by having a glimpse at it?
Yeah, this is quite sharp. Okay, if white is able to take the piece and then consolidate, he might be slightly preferred, but black already has two pawns, I think, and okay, maybe rook a d8 is a logical move, and okay, he'll have a third pawn, and it looks quite complicated, but maybe, okay, black should be... I think black should be definitely fine here. This knight on a5 is also a bit misplaced.
Right. Yeah, very interesting game. Bjerre has been suffering a bit in the start of the tournament, which shows once again how unpredictable is this. If I may, I would like to ask you a couple of questions from the chat.
Sure.
Which is, the Pumpkin the Cat is asking you, how does the chess life balance work for a teen chess prodigy?
Yeah, the thing is, it's a very big question about how much time you devote to chess. I spend around 8 to 10 hours on chess every day.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, luckily I go to an online school, and the thing is, they're very flexible. Like that's how I was able to like play some tournaments. That okay, I can go play my tournaments, and after I come back, I watch the recordings, I submit my work. And luckily that's good. Otherwise, I would have to go to school every single day, and spending 8 to 10 hours in school is... Unfortunately, if I want to succeed in chess, if I want to become a world-class player, I won't be able to do.
Right. I mean, obviously, you want to become the world
champion.
Of course,
I want to become the world champion.
All right. That's of course, I didn't really doubt it. There's another question by Symphonic 9. How much blitz experience you have since no games you have apparently in the database since 2017? Are you playing online a lot?
I don't play too much blitz. I played one title, like I played the title Tuesday a couple weeks ago. I had a winning position against Nialsari in final round. If I had won that, I would have tied for second. But unfortunately, okay, I messed that game up and I lost. And I don't even remember where I finished. I finished very low. But the thing is, I don't really play much blitz overall. I like playing classical, and I like solving positions from, let's say, other players' games.
Are you doing puzzles?
Yeah, I do a lot of puzzles. Like
what's your rating on chess.com?
Chess.com, I don't really do many puzzles. Chess Tempo.
Chess Tempo. All right. Okay, that's a pretty interesting choice. Yeah, I know it's pretty popular. All right, Abhimanyu, I'm not going to keep you for any longer. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to wish you best of luck in the upcoming rounds. You're leading the
Thank you.
tournament. Do you believe you have a chance to win it all?
Yeah, if I keep playing this way, I don't see a reason why if I'm not a contender.
Nice response. I wish you best of luck. Thank you, Abhimanyu, for joining me.